action for another day of the week. Welcome to the, what is this, Wednesday edition? Chasing that paper, presented by VegasInsider.com. Oh yeah. Oh no. That's what I was saying last night. So I say it all the time. This is the most all or nothing sports betting program on the internet. You're either fine dining, eating out, bringing your family out for a nice steak dinner, or you're selling all of your stuff off so you can buy your family some hot dogs. Last night, it was a selling all of your stuff off night. We go 4-1 Monday, 1-4 on yesterday's program. So not too pleased with that. Some bad calls, but just one of the worst beats I've had all NBA season. Jaylen Brown. Hope you guys didn't tail me on this one, because if you did, you might not have slept very good. I had him going over 24.5 points. He ends up with 24, which is one thing, but he should have easily cleared this. He went 3 of 8 at the free throw line. This is a good free throw shooter, and he had his minutes cut short due to both foul trouble in the first half, back-to-back possessions, offensive fouls. They take him out of the game. And then, of course, it was a blowout. What is going on with the Boston Celtics? So that one stung. But I like to say, we're owed a little bit of luck. Maybe we'll find that luck here tonight. 5 total bets across the NBA and Major League Baseball second half of the show. A lot of news coming out of the NFL. Leaks. Not really leaks, the NFL schedule. But I'm going to have my prediction for the Week 1 primetime games. Before we get into the picks, guys, if you like the show, it's easy to let me know. All you got to do, boom, hit that like button right down there. It takes 0.2 seconds to do it, and while you're at it, hit that subscribe button. Lots of great content here on the Vegas Insider YouTube channel. All right, that's enough small talk. Let's get right into the action. We're going to start things off in the NBA in New York City, where I am on the underdog. Miami Heat plus 3.5. I love them to cover this number. So let's get right into it. They're almost perfect. The playoffs here so far. We're getting them here as an underdog versus a team that's been incredibly flat. Take a look at the Heat. They've covered in 7 straight games now. They are 8-1 against the spread in the playoffs and have only lost 1 time with Jimmy Butler in the lineup. That was in Milwaukee in Game 2 of that series. You dig into the stats and just some absolutely dreadful shooting numbers for the Knicks. A 48.7 EFG percentage in the playoffs. That's a significant dip from their regular season number. They have the worst EFG percentage of any team in this round. The three-point shooting has been god-awful. And they're also turning the ball over at a high percentage. Big question coming into this one. Can the Knicks bounce back from that embarrassing, humiliating Game 4 performance? That was ugly. All those offensive rebounds they allowed in the fourth quarter, where's the hurt at? Julius Randle flat out admitted Miami wanted it more. The Heat are a much tougher team. I think the Knicks might be ready to call it a season. Give me the Heat plus 3.5. Next up, we go to the West Coast, and dogs don't stop. Give me the Lakers plus Golden State versus the Warriors. So a big part of this handicap is fading all of the silly narrative coming into this game. So just because it's a must-win game for the Warriors, and just because they really want to play well, doesn't mean they're going to run right through LA. Your LA really wants to play well too. And do we really think the Lakers just aren't going to show up tonight because they want to preserve their energy, and because they have a comfortable lead in the series, and because they had a bad performance in Game 5 of the previous series versus the Grizzlies when they had a 3-1 lead? Cut the shit! This is the defending champs they're going against. You don't want to play with your food. This situation, a full effort will be there from the Lakers. Give me a break. So where are the Lakers going to have an edge? Free throws and turnovers. Big edges for LA in this series, and carryovers from the regular season when you dig into those stats. The Lakers are averaging 13 more free throw attempts per game in this series. In this round, first versus last in turnover percentage in favor of LA. The ultimate battle of discipline versus undisciplined. And ice-cold shooting in the second half from Golden State. They have the lowest second half field goal percentage of any team in this round, and like ranked last in points per 100 possessions. The second half in this round as well. I don't know if the Lakers will win this one outright, but I do like them to keep it close. Give me Lakers plus 7.5. All right, to the diamond we go. We start things off in Arizona, where the dinky Miami Marlins are in town. I'm going to take the Diamondbacks first 5 money line minus 130. So a couple of right-handed starters on the mound here. OPS versus righties over the last 2 weeks. First for Arizona versus 28th for the dinky Miami Marlins. Marlins are also dead last this season in runs scored in innings 1 through 5. Speaking of innings 1 through 5, Merrill Kelly, the starter for Arizona, he has a 1.34 ERA in innings 1 through 5 this season. He comes in carrying great momentum, coming off his best start of the season where he had 10 strikeouts. The dinky Miami Marlins counter with Edward Cabrera. He has not been good on the road. A 5.82 ERA. Give me the Diamondbacks first 5 minus 130. All right, to Baltimore we go, where the Tampa Bay Rays are in town. We're going to fade Dean Kramer, the starting pitcher for the Orioles, going to take over 2.5 earned runs for Kramer, coming in with odds of minus 110. Look at his game logs. 3 or more earned runs in 5 of 7 starts this season. He's gotten smoked by the likes of the Tigers and the A's already this season. He's getting absolutely shit-canned at home. He has a 7.20 ERA in 3 starts at Camden Yards. Just absolutely brutal. As we know, we talk about it a lot on the little program here. The Rays absolutely smoke right-handed pitching. 3rd in OPS versus righties over the last 2 weeks. Give me Kramer over 2.5 earned runs. And we're going to wrap things up in Kansas City. A full game bet. We're going to take the Royals team total over 4.5 runs, coming in with odds of plus 113. So they've been hot offensively on this homestand. 5 or more runs in 6 of the 8 games during their current homestand. You spread it out over the last 2 weeks. They rank 7th in OPS versus right-handed pitching. They face a right-handed starter, Lance Lynn, who's getting absolutely shit-canned. He has a 6.83 ERA on the season. He's allowing a lot of home runs. He's allowed 4 or more earned runs in 4 straight games. Kansas City hitters also have decent numbers against him. And the Chicago bullpen is absolute bullshit. In contention for baseball's worst bullpen. Last 2 weeks of the season, they have a 6.95 ERA and a 6.23 FIP. That's hard to do at the major league level. Give me Royals team total over 4.5 plus 113. Beautiful number there. We look to bounce back. Struggling a little bit on in Major League Baseball, so I got off to a really hot start in baseball. I closed out the month of April up around 13 units. And of course, I got to stop doing this. I go on Twitter, not really, maybe kind of, yeah, to brag about it a little bit and say, hey, look at this great start that I've been off to in Major League Baseball, up 13 units. I've been ice cold ever since.
Oh, no!
Lesson learned. Oh, no, indeed. Yeah, hopefully we got to get it back here in baseball. I think we can do it here today. Some good-looking spots there. Okay, if you're looking for some good-looking spots, I recommend heading over to BetMGM, the king of sports books. I got Lakers 7.5. A lot of other books had it at 7, I noticed. And we have an exclusive offer just for Vegas Insider users. Sign up with BetMGM. Use the promo code VI Bonus Match. You'll get up to $1,100 of your deposit matched by BetMGM. That's code VI Bonus Match, all one word, no spaces, for a first bet deposit offer of up to $1,100. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. You must be 21 years or older to wager. Offers for new customers only. BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Yeah. All right. What do we think, guys? Toronto Maple Leafs? Going to be the end of their season tonight? I don't know. Dug into the numbers. I always go with the analytics. The Leafs absolutely have the analytical edge in that series. I don't have the edge between the pipes, though. So staying away from the NHL here this evening. So the NFL, once again, taking over the sports news cycle. They just come right in whenever in the hell they want. and take over the sports news cycle, right? A lot of big news out of the NBA last night, but this morning it's all about the NFL schedule. It's funny, the NFL schedule with this thing, they announced that they're going to have a schedule release show on Thursday night, but they do this every year. And I'm not really complaining, but they say they're going to have the schedule release show. Then the day before, everything starts leaking. I don't know. It is what it is. But let's take a look at some of the announcements here. Then I'm going to give you guys my predictions for the Week 1 primetime games. So we take a look at the international schedule here. Falcons versus Jaguars. A bit of a dud. Jaguars versus Bills. I think that's a pretty good game. Back-to-back games in London here for the Jaguars. I'm sure their hometown fans in Jacksonville really appreciate that. Ravens, Titans, bit of a stinker. Lamar Jackson back in the lineup here. Titans, who in the hell is going to be starting at quarterback for them come week 6? Who knows? Big time missed opportunity here. A nice break for my Miami Dolphins, though. So the Dolphins, they were scheduled to play in Kansas City this season, but they shifted that game to Germany. So that's a bit of a nice break for the Dolphins. Instead of playing on the road in Kansas City, they get a neutral site game. But, you know, we had a little bit of a fun storyline. The Tyreek Hill revenge game has returned to Kansas City. I know it's not quite Tom Brady returning to New England, but a bit of a fun story there. So that's interesting. And then Colts versus Patriots, week 10. That could potentially be one of the worst games of the season. That looks absolutely awful. So, yeah, not all complete duds here for the international crowd. The Bills and Jags stands out in London, and Dolphins and Chiefs. That should be a high-scoring game. Give me the over on that one right now. Dolphins, Chiefs in Germany. Okay, we also have a few more announcements here. Tito, if you want to just rip through these, I would greatly appreciate it. So, yeah, this one going down on New Year's Eve. Bengals, Chiefs, one of the biggest games you can make on the NFL schedule. And I was thinking, I thought it was a lock that the Bengals would be playing week 1 in Kansas City. Because, of course, we all know by now who teams will be playing in their home games and away games. We just don't know when. And there's a few marquee teams coming to Kansas City. I thought that would have been a lock. A rematch of the AFC title game. Great rivalry going between these teams, but it's not to be. That's going to take place on that's CBS. Oh, great. Tony Romo. New Year's Eve. Next up, Christmas Day games. The NFL with a big, fat fuck you to the NBA. So much for the NBA tradition of those Christmas Day games. The NFL could give us Texans versus Titans on Christmas Day, and that will probably do a better rating than the NBA game where the superstar will sit out due to load management. But yeah, a bit of a fun game here. Giants at Eagles. Eagles looked like they reloaded a little bit. A lot of young talent here. We'll see if the Giants overachieved last year, let's be fair. But still a young team going in the right direction, so a fun game there. What else do we have? And yeah, this one got announced as well. The first ever Black Friday football game. I love it. My Miami Dolphins at New York taking on the Jets. I saw someone posted there's a spread out for this game already. The Jets minus 2.5 point favorites. Now let's hope it's not the Mike White revenge game. Let's hope Tua is nice and healthy and in the lineup for this one. But yeah, don't you guys love this? Those are the games that have been announced. There's going to be more announcements coming out as the day goes on. Apparently, they're not far off from announcing the Christmas Day games, all of them. Don't you love the routine of the NFL? Don't you miss it? All week. It's a pattern you follow every week. Every Monday night, Thursday night, Sunday night, they are booked off. Every Sunday afternoon, it is booked off. You have the games around all the holidays now. And it's just... You prepare, you watch them, then you do it all over again for 18 weeks, and then you have the playoffs. I love it. I miss it. We need it back in our lives. So yeah, week 1, the NFL absolutely usually comes out swinging, especially with their primetime games. They throw all these networks a pretty big bone. They want to get a big rating on these games. You know, we're not going to be getting Falcons-Panthers here on Sunday Night Football, Week 1. It's going to be some big-time matchups. So let's take a look at those 3 primetime slots for Week 1, and I'm going to give you my prediction. So like I said, the first game of the season, we know it's always the defending Super Bowl champion hosting on their home field. I thought it was going to be the Bengals. I thought that game made all the sense in the world, but there's 3 logical candidates that you could pair up with the Chiefs. So there's the Buffalo Bills, who are coming to town at some point this season. That's obviously a super sexy matchup. The Bills, they had them in the season opener last year. I don't know if that impacts their decision at all. We have the Eagles. You can do the Super Bowl rematch right off the bat. Remember they did that with the Broncos and the Panthers a couple years back. And then you have the Chargers. I don't know if there's a whole lot of appeal with the Chargers right now, how they went out, but the Chargers usually do give the Chiefs a pretty good game. It's a divisional matchup. They're playing twice a season anyways. There's some sex appeal with some big names there on the Chargers, but I kind of threw that out there on Twitter. A couple people told me that the rumor is that the Chiefs and Eagles will be playing in Week 2. So I guess the most logical opponent here is you give the Buffalo Bills. You send them to Kansas City for the season opener. No complaints there. I would absolutely love that game. So then, what do you do on Sunday Night Football? Well, I think the Super Bowl runner-up should be rewarded with being able to host a big-time game in Week 1 of the season. How about this for Sunday Night Football? In Week 1, the Eagles host the San Francisco 49ers, who are coming to Philadelphia at some point this season, a rematch of the NFC Championship game. We all know what happened there. The 49ers were down to their 19th string quarterback. It didn't really work out for them, so they'll be out for revenge. That's a super sexy game. That will do a big rating. And then we go to Monday Night Football. Now, people were teasing that, hey, maybe they're going to do this game over Thanksgiving weekend because the Cowboys always, or Thanksgiving Day, because the Cowboys always host a game on Thanksgiving. But we know the Jets are playing on Black Friday, so they will not be playing on Thanksgiving. How about this? Week 1, Monday Night Football, Aaron Rodgers and the Jets in Dallas against the Cowboys. That is a super sexy game that does an absolute monster rating. So there you have it, my primetime schedule for Week 1. This is my prediction. Let's hope I go 3 for 3. So Kansas City hosts the Buffalo Bills in the season opener on Thursday night. Sunday Night Football, Eagles host the 49ers. Monday Night Football, the Jets head to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. That'd be absolutely beautiful. One matchup that I would throw in there, because, you know, the NFL, they like to smack you in the face with these storylines, right? And obviously you're going to get good teams in these primetime matchups right off the bat. Another good candidate that you could throw in there Sunday night or Monday night, Bengals versus Ravens. Obviously, everyone loves Joe Burrow, one of the biggest stars in the NFL. That team's a lot of fun. The Bengals offense, then you have a lot of star power here with the Ravens. All of a sudden, Lamar Jackson coming back. That drama is behind us, thankfully. Odell Beckham on that team, so I think that's a fun matchup that you could do as well. But they could give us the Rams versus the Cardinals in one of these primetime games, and I'm watching every single goddamn second of it. We know that won't be the case, but man, I cannot wait for the start of the NFL season. But until then, we got bigger fish to fry here. We're right in the thick of the NBA playoffs, right in the thick of the second round. Some teams looking to wrap things up here, and we put out a poll on the Vegas Insider Twitter feed here this morning asking you guys, which NBA series underdog is the best bet to make a comeback and win their series? The Celtics, they're at plus 165, coming in as the favorite. No big shock, given the history of those two teams. I've said it all season. Can you trust the 76ers in a tight spot? Trying to close out the defending Eastern Conference champions is absolutely 100% a tight spot. They're going to have a great opportunity at home in Game 6. Then you have the Warriors down 3-1 in the series. Some real sloppy play from them. I don't see that happening. The Suns plus 295. You got to assume the Suns, well, a lot of people will be assuming that the Suns will pick up the W. They've been night and day, home and away in this series, and a couple of people, just to be jerks, I think, voted for the Knicks there at plus 550. I don't know, guys. If I had $1,000 and you said you had to place it on one of these teams, I'd probably do the Celtics at plus 165. You know, my instinct is do not trust the Sixers. Although, we got to give this Philadelphia 76ers a lot of credit, right? Because a lot of people are like me. Do you trust Doc Rivers in a tight spot? Absolutely not. How about James Harden? Absolutely not. Joel Embiid hasn't exactly been clutch. But last night's performance, that's a team that's learning how to win in the playoffs. It's taken them a while. They've been right on the doorstep of kind of breaking through here in the playoffs. So this is the biggest game in 76ers. What? The last 20 years, maybe? I know they had a Game 7 versus the Raptors in the playoffs during the Kawhi run, actually. But one of the biggest games in the history of the process. We'll put it at that. So, yeah, we'll see if Philly can close that one out there in Game 6 versus Boston. All right, guys, it is now time for today's Handicapper Heat Check, proudly presented by VegasInsider.com, your home for the best expert picks in the business since 1997. Today's featured expert is the mad scientist, Will Rogers. 9-1 all-sports record over the last 2 days. Ray Monahan continued his hot streak, going 9-1 in the NBA, 7-2 in the NHL, and 5-1 in Major League Baseball. ASA had a perfect 3-0 record last night and is 7-1 in their last 8 NBA playoff picks. Visit VegasInsider.com/picks for today's early MLB action plus NBA and NHL playoff best bets. That's your Handicapper Heat Check. Stay hot, betters. Yeah. All right, that does it for today, guys. In and out fairly quickly. Flying solo here today, of course. Tomorrow and the rest of the week, I will not be flying solo. So make sure you tune in and check out those programs. Hopefully we can get back to our winning ways. People talk about the zigzag theory in the playoffs. This is a zigzag show. So if we are zigging and zagging, it means that it's time for a winning night here tonight. So hopefully we can take care of business. So we thank you guys very much for watching. We thank producer Tito very much. He did a great job producing today. Gonna give him a nice pat on the back. Well done, Tito. So best of luck with your bets tonight, unless, of course, you are fading me. And as always, keep chasing that paper. Yeah!